Hello my friends, this is Jeannie. Welcome back. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I am going to continue to work on the cover for my supersized journal. If you have not seen the other videos which show my progress up until this point, be sure to check them out. I will link them in this general area up here throughout my video. I did the cover, we all saw that. And since that video, I did make the frame that I'm going to use to frame the artwork that I found on Pinterest. I have also painted the little window arch that I will be using as well. This still needs a little bit of work, so I'll put that to the side. But what I have been doing before I turned this camera on is that little chipboard frame. I decided to do kind of like a slow stitch border around it so that it will just pop a little bit more off the front cover. So ideally what I want to happen is I will have this image cut to size so that it's framed by this window arch, and then I have the frame of the window arch that I will add to just have a little more detail, and it'll just make the image pop a little bit more because your eye is going to be drawn to the center, I think. And no, my arch is not broken. I cut it intentionally because while painting it, it did cause the chipboard to swell a little bit, so it doesn't quite fit in there like before. So once I am ready to glue this frame in, I will just trim off any excess and fit the frame, and it should be okay. I also need to do a little bit of stamping on that because the gold by itself is a little too flat for me. So, oh, and before I move on and talk about this, I did find a 12 by 12 piece of acetate in my stash, which I am going to use to create like the glass of the window for the whole front cover. So yeah, I'm telling you, this became a lot more involved than I wanted it to, but that's okay because I'm very happy with the direction that it is going. So let's push all this to the side and work on this. So this is the frame I'm going to use for the front of the cover. As I said, I wanted to create a little bit of detailing around the edges of the frame just to make it pop a little bit more. I have done 3 of the 4 sides. Thought I would just bring you along for the final side. Very simple. All I did was take some waxed thread. I usually use this to bind my journals. I also have a pokey tool that I'm going to use to poke holes. Because this is chipboard, I am not going to just try to push this needle through that chipboard. It will absolutely kill my fingers, no doubt. So I am just going to take my pokey tool and just poke the holes for me to thread my needle. Okay, so what we are going to do, I have my wax cording. I am going to thread the cording. Let's see. I am going to use, let's see if I can find more. Oh, here it is. More of this super strong red line tape. And now I can go ahead and do a stitch. I think this is this called a whip stitch? I don't know. But that's what it looks like from the front. It's just easier for me to see the holes on the back because I have that white. So once all the stitching is done, that is what it looks like. Pretty awesome. So what I need to do, let me tie off this stitch and we can move on to the next step. So there, the stitching is done. I think that looks really cool, and it will help, definitely help, when this is glued onto the cover. It'll help it to pop a little, that's for sure. And it's just a nice texture. So I think the next thing we need to do is, let's kind of fix this up a little bit. What I'm going to do, it feels dry. I am going to use my archival ink and just this Scripty stamp. This one, does this one have a name? I don't know. If it does, I don't know what it is. But it's just a little Scripty stamp by Stampendous. I'm not even going to take it off. I'm just going to ink that up and just stamp around the frame. Obviously won't be able to read it, but that's not the point. It's just to have some of the black and just introduce some of the darker color, the black. Perfect. There we go. That looks good. Can we see it? Now that the stamping is done, I can take away that mat. I think it looks really good. Next step is going to be to dry fit this. Let's make sure everything's good. Looks good. The frame fits quite nicely. I think there's enough of a contrast there where it doesn't look flat, if that makes sense. So when I am ready, what I will do is get the frame in there, and then I can snip off any of the excess length here, and it'll fit perfectly flush, it'll lay flat, and that'll be good. So that seems to be working out okay. Here's my image. Let's figure out the framing so we can cut this down to size. I have several versions, different sizes, so I'll just keep to the one I'm going to use, which is this one. Move the cover to the side. Do I want I think I do. I want the bed and frame. I want to be able to see the entire bed, I think. I think so. Do I? We move it around. We are auditioning here. I know I like the bed. I think I want to see the bed. But I also like the window more. Ooh, okay, I think that's nice right there. Yeah, that's nice. So I'm just going to mark with a pencil. I'm not so worried about the top and the bottom because my chipboard is taller than the image. So grab the guillotine chopper, line that up. Maybe a tiny bit more, just to make sure none of that. Want to make sure none of that white peeks out from the side. Okay, so I think we have the image cut to a size that works for me before we adhere this image to the back of this chipboard. I need the acetate. I'm trying to wait to the very last possible moment to attach the acetate, because once I attach the acetate, there will be lots of glare. So I think for the acetate, I will just measure. I don't even know the width of this little pop-up window. It's 7 1/4. So I will cut the acetate down to 7, not 7, 6 3/4, and it should be fine. The sound of a blade cutting through acetate. It's like fingers on a chalkboard. I think I want to trim it just a little bit more so that it is leaning, it's glued up against the chipboard as opposed to on top of that wax cording. Might be easier just to do this. Because this is just the tiniest sliver that I want to trim off. Yeah, I have an arsenal of trimmers at my side here. Perfect. That's great. Good, 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 good. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep using this same red line tape. Why not? It's almost dinner time soon, so I'm probably gonna have to pause this video. Okay, so I think I will also add a tiny bit of, where's the open bottle? Oh, here it is. My fabric tack. Tiny bit. Looks great. How bad is the glare? Not bad at all. Let's try fit this again. I want to figure out how much I have to snippity snip snip. Not much, it's just the tiniest bit. Tiny bit more. Better to do a little at a time. Didn't snip too much. Because there is no fixing that. Okay, good. So I think what I'm going to do is adhere the window frame, and I think I am going to use this same fabric tack glue. And put the tiniest bead. I definitely do not want this oozing out onto the acetate. That would be no good. And press down on that. Give it time to dry. Look at that. That is pretty cool. And then this behind that. Perfect. So I guess the next thing, I have to be careful, really careful with how I trim this. Again, I'm going to try to trim this so that it adheres to the acetate. And or the chipboard, and not to the area that has the threads. Okay, still doing a little more trimming. Oh, this makes me nervous. Well, I mean, I do have another print of this. It wouldn't be horrible. We are getting there. think a little bit more on this side, so it looks like I should have just trim the border off, the white border. And it would have been good from the word go. Oh, perfect. That is perfect. Yeah, that's nice. That's very nice. So I think we're going to use that same red line tape. So here comes the point of no return. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We are going to do this. Oh, this makes me nervous. Let's see. I was holding my breath. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy with the way this turned out. Look at this, guys. Wow. Very happy. And now we stick it onto here. But what do I use? What do I use? I think it's going to be, I think what I'm going to do is the double-sided tape in the center here, where you can see the image through the acetate, so we can avoid any buckling or bubbling or anything weird happening in the areas we can see through the window. And then maybe the PVA glue around everything else. Kind of backed it up. You know, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a combination of everything. We are going to do a combination of, that's it. Just stop, Jeannie. Just stop and do it. We're going to do that. We're going to start by putting lots of this double-sided tape. And then we'll put a little bit of that PVA. or yeah, I think PVA, or maybe even the fabric tack. I don't know, one of those glues around the edges where that stitching is, just to make sure that stitching catches. And that's that. That's that. That is that. No more fussing. And again, I'm going to stay away from the center of my page with any kind of liquid adhesive. I'm going to stand up to do this. Okay, let me see, do I like that? Yep, we're committing. That's it. We are committed. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Did it. Guys. I think it looks great. I am super happy with the way that this turned out. So what I think is going to happen is I am going to put this in my press, leave it overnight so that we can make sure we have contact between the entire back surface of this panel and the book itself. And then I will make a third video, or whatever number we're up to. That'll be the last video, where I will come back and do the flip through. Thank you so much for watching, my friends. I truly do appreciate you, and I will catch you in the next video. Until next time, bye bye.